It sounds familiar.
They play usually hand in hand with
Most Dangerous Men
Men.
The Quins.
Yeah, I can't talk. Go ahead, take that. Anyways, they wanted to do a world premiere for their latest release, Damballa. So this is the world premiere of Damballa from Dionysus Park Rangers. We'll be back in a minute. This is My Night Out Radio on Rhode Island Free Radio. Yeah, I can never keep this.
Oh
Welcome back, My Night Outers. This is My Night Out Radio on Rhode Island Free Radio. This is DJ Psycho Eddie. We have George in-house, also Alicia, the sexual intellectual. Now, you had mentioned and alluded to earlier that you have a podcast.
I do.
What is it called?
Raw Sex.
Tell us about it.
It's pretty self-explanatory. I called it Raw Sex because it's sex in the raw, relatable form. And, of course, you know, there's always the pun because everybody loves raw sex. But it is a sexual education podcast for adults. So it's sex positive. It's body positive. It's about educating people without shaming people for their sexual choices.
Okay. Well, I actually got to say, I have been listening on and off. I'm not every week listener. But my favorite broadcast that you had was Buck Angel.
I fangirled so hard on that episode. I don't even remember it. I was so high on adrenaline and just being excited and giggly.
For those of you who don't know Buck Angel is a porn star. Originally was female, now he's a male, mm-hmm. So he's gone through all the surgeries. And I'm not going to get into his claim to fame, but you can if you'd like. What is his claim to fame?
Am I allowed to say that?
As long as you use medical terms.
Oh, it's not fun that way.
I know,
but his tagline is that he is a man with a vagina, essentially. I mean, he doesn't use the term vagina, but I'll G-rate it for you. Right.
We have to clean it up. For those of you listening into your cubicles, say thank you because we could have gotten a lot worse than that.
I get pretty graphic. So don't listen to my podcast in your cubicles. You'll get fired.
Graphic is good, though, occasionally. Not on this occasion, but occasionally it is very good. So tell us more about your podcast. How did you obviously you started when you spun off from B.O.B. because as a lot of people have found out, B.O.B. isn't their cup of tea. It is what it is. Sorry, guys, if you're listening. Kenny Nardoza, who does the comedy show over there, is I've talked to him. He's going to be coming on the show in a couple of weeks, too, and I'm probably going to tell him the same thing. So
I have no hard feelings, but we just couldn't see eye to eye, so I decided to take it on my own. So I do all of the podcast information, hosting, guest lists, everything on my own. We just reached the 1-year mark on June 9th for our website.
Congratulations.
Our 1-year podcasting date was in March, but our website launch was June 9th because it's 6/9.
For those of you who don't get the pun, you probably should not be listening to her show.
Right, or maybe they
Or
should
you-
be
yeah,
listening,
maybe,
right?
Maybe you should be listening to find out what she's alluding to. Also, now you have quite a list of jobs that you do.
I have many hats, as I call it. I'm the Jane of all trades, I suppose.
Please tell us about the many hats that you wear.
So my 9-to-5 job, I am an HIV testing counselor.
Okay.
So people come in, we have risk assessments, what have you been doing, what are these behaviors? We discuss what type of testing we have and what are the best options for that person considering their risks. And then we do the testing. I actually just became a certified phlebotomist, so I do the testing as well. And then we discuss harm reduction, risk reduction, lifestyle choices, and I help encourage people to have safer behaviors, reduce their risks, and to continue testing routinely.
Okay. Now, that's not the only job you do, is it? Job per se.
Yeah, I mean that's my.
That's your title, but you're also at the center, or do you do that at the center for?
No. So I do that at a different facility, and because of HIPAA laws and stuff, I try to keep that private,
okay.
for my clients, and also because I try not to mix my podcast with what I call my vanilla life, my private life. But so I do that, and I do my podcast. I do lots of sex education related things, along with blogs, writing on my website.
Which, by the way, George had mentioned earlier. If you need any study material, George and I will be more than willing to lay on the table for you to do whatever inspecting and or testing you need to do.
I am so happy that you would think of me to donate your services to. However, I don't do any type of sexual research myself.
Oh, okay.
But I will keep that in mind. There are actual sexual, researches going on out there. So if I know of anything, I will send you the
I was
links.
going to have to donate my body to science fiction.
Zing.
So besides that, so the Center for Sexual Pleasure and Health, I did an internship there.
Okay.
I am no longer an intern. I am a volunteer. And I'm currently the head of the ticket sales committee for a huge fundraiser that they are having, hosting in September at FET, September 19th.
What is the fundraiser?
So the fundraiser is called An Affair to Remember. And I have to preface all of this and with my disclaimer that I don't actually speak for the center. I'm sharing the information, but I don't have the authority to speak for them. So the center is hosting this, An Affair to Remember is what it's called. And it's a beautiful upscale gala. We're going to have it at FET in the ballroom. And the fundraiser is to help the center because the center doesn't actually sell anything. It's education-based. It's free to the public. So it's a way to raise funds so that way they can continue their mission, which, of course, is, reducing sexual shame and advancing the field of sexuality.
Okay. George, how are you feeling over there?
Feeling great.
You're a little bit blushed right now.
Well, it's sunburn, actually.
Do you have any questions for Alicia?
Well, I guess we'll get to the adult side of the equation. And
Okay.
I'm very curious.
I'm very curious.
I'm waiting.
We tossed about questions that we would probably ask and what our listeners, I guess, would ask. And you see a lot of studies that take place on myths and research, I guess. So, from a guy's standpoint, does size really matter?
Absolutely not.
Thank the Lord.
I think I'm living proof of that.
So the average penis, I believe, is like 5.5 inches. I always get my statistic numbers.
Well, I got a question
little
on
off,
that.
but-
When they measure that, where do they measure from?
I don't know that I was there for that study.
Where do you measure it from, Ed?
Well,
I measure from my elbow.
I was going to say some people measure from the base, some measure from I don't know.
Where else would they be measuring from?
From some of the sizes, some of the guys have told me, I'm thinking they're measuring from the small of their back.
Well, you did mention earlier when you push down on it, it gets longer.
Well,
Push down on the
Is that
sides.
measuring
that
method?
just gets the fluffy stuff out of the way, and you do